she is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, good. How are you, Amy Lee? So great to see you. Where am I? Where am I in your? Is this your home?
Yeah, this is the studio out back.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. It almost looks like my upstairs loft at my apartment, my
Yeah,
condo.
yeah, that's what it used to be. When we lived in Brooklyn for years, my studio was like the very top little tiny room on the top floor.
Yeah,
I've got this bigger space. We live in Tennessee now, and it's been
love
really
it.
great to have like a separate place to go, where nobody can hear me scream.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, congratulations on everything, Amy Lee from Evanescence, and what a long and illustrious career. You've done a great job. You've got such an amazing God-given talent. So congratulations on everything for utilizing that in the right way.
Mhm.
And congratulations on The Bitter Truth, the new album, and the song Better Without You. I'm curious, how personal is that song? I mean, is it written from a first person perspective, as in a true story about a relationship you once had,
It's
or more like a commonality?
well, there's commonality in the fact that it's not all directed at one person. I actually kind of split the song into sections about different obstacles, different monsters to slay along the way in my journey. So like verse one is early days, what I was up against, and the second verse is the next chapter, fighting against the man. And then
Mm-hmm.
the third one was more present day. I sang that bridge, it's over, your time is over now, the day that man was just taking real meaning in the moment. So it's a journey. So it is about a lot of things, but it is all very personal to me.
Very cool. So you initially met up with Ben Moody back in '94 at a Christian youth camp. I'm curious, the only reason I bring that up is I'm curious as to how your faith has been tested throughout the whole COVID thing.
um wow, that's quite a question.
Yeah.
I think that having to be faced with our mortality in this time is big. It's been big for me. It's not something that I haven't had to face before. But that's something that was spurred on for me a couple years ago, with the loss of my brother, who's one of
Mhm.
my best friends and favorite people in my
Yeah.
life. That experience definitely led me to some real soul searching, that has been a long process. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. With the whole pandemic and with the slowdown, was that kind of a blessing or a curse if you take a look at the plans that you had prior to January of 2020?
You know, I think it's a little bit of both. It'd be hard to look at this time and go, yeah, that was a blessing. So many people have died.
Yeah.
But I really feel like we made the best of it. And looking at the bright side of it, it forced us into a place that for me, like isolation and lockdown, and that's kind of what I need as a very primary part of my creative process.
Mhm.
So I just went for it in a way that there would have been a lot of other distractions and interruptions if we had gone on with our plans and gone on tour. We'd recorded 4 songs, and we were going to then go on tour for a while with Within Temptation in Europe, and then come back and do some more writing. And it was sort of like album making light, like we weren't doing it full on
Yeah.
like we actually did. So when everything got postponed and shut down, we were like, okay, we're not going to wait a second, we're not going to waste a day. And there's taking that mortality thing into the equation. For me, I took it as a fire, like the whole thing, like we're all in something that we can't control. We don't know when it's going to end. Like it seems like just anything suddenly could happen. The rug just is getting pulled out from under us in so many ways. It made me feel like there's no time to lose. Like we're going to take that and live every moment. And I want to make another album. I want it to be the best thing we've ever done. So let's go. So I
Mhm.
really just spent every day either in here or at Nick Raskulinic's studio, who we're in the same town now. So that was an incredible blessing. So I definitely think we made the best of it.
Very cool. Your biggest songwriting partner in the band today, who would that be?
That's an interesting question. It's changed. It's become more open than sort of a duo partnership like it used to be.
Yeah.
Um, I like to most of the songs start sort of from a place of me writing on my own and getting like a foundational idea, like a chord progression or a verse or a chorus groove, and then bring it in and having us make it together really as a group. So then there are other songs that we literally, we're in a place now where we can speak each other's language and work together and be patient with each other and encourage each other and challenge each other, that we can actually jam in the moment and make stuff happen. That started really happening for the first time on our last self-titled album. That's part of the reason it was a self-titled album. Really felt like us becoming a real full band for the first time in a lot of ways. So this was a cool experience. Songs came from everywhere, and I couldn't say that one was really more than another.
Yeah, and technology, I think, has been kind of a blessing and a curse. Being a musician myself, up until 20 years ago, the way you wrote songs was getting into a room, getting sweaty, cranking it up, and someone's got a riff and the band just jams on something. And then you kind of, when you go into the studio, you distill that down with a great producer who becomes like the fourth or fifth member of the band, right? And nowadays you can pretty much just send stems, over the internet to different people who've got Pro Tools, and they can import that stuff.
True.
So you're telling me, Amy, that the self-titled record was more of you guys actually jamming in a room together and coming up with ideas that way?
Yeah, it was more of a group effort than it ever had been before. And that, something about that was for me to feel that kind of trust for all my other bandmates, and also just being comfortable enough in myself as an artist that I wasn't afraid to suck or come up with a dumb idea in front of people. When I was younger, that was just something I was like more guarded about. Like, no one will know if I spend like a week getting one little tiny cool idea out by myself and then bring it to the table like it's no big deal. Now it's kind of like, well, you just go. I know there's good stuff in me, and don't be afraid. You got to suck in front of each other before it's going to be good. That's just how it is. And we've all been together for a long time and know each other and trust each other that way.
Yeah, totally. My wife, I've kind of bucked the whole The Voice or American Idol thing. It's something that my wife has typically watched in the past, but the pandemic has forced us to not do a whole lot of anything. And when those seasons are out, then I'll sit down on the couch and begrudgingly watch it with her. There's some tremendous talent there. If somebody from American Idol or The Voice asked you to come along as a celebrity mentor or maybe a judge, is that something that you would be into doing, or is that something you go, yeah, probably doesn't fit my image?
I don't think it's as much about my image. I think that would be great exposure. It's just not really my style. I have a hard time like casting judgment, even if it's all positive. It still feels, I don't know. I've been invited into similar roles like that and always declined just because I feel, I don't know, like I only ever want to support. I don't think I could really share my honest opinion with somebody.
So you would be a horrible Simon Cowell.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I know what it takes. I know how hard it is. And I kind of have, I have an opinion that's a more purist opinion than a smart marketing based opinion, I guess, as far as like what happens and what choices you make. And I don't know if that really fits. I think you should just be who you are. But at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. We definitely exist in that world. We get asked very often, to have our songs used by contestants, and it's fascinating and a huge honor. It's cool to be a part of that culture and watch that happen.
Yeah. I would imagine the first question is, or the first statement is, wow, how cool, what an honor. And second question is, how much? Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell me about your relationship with one of my dear friends that I've known since she was knee-high to a grasshopper and hung out with her parents the first time she and her band came through town. Lzzy Hale and Halestorm. How did this whole doubleheader tour come to be?
This is sort of a no-brainer. Yeah. Like, loved each other forever. We cross each other's paths all the time. We live in the same town. We just got together a little bit last year for Use My Voice. Lizzie was one of the lovely ladies I had come in and sing, and we got that and play a couple of songs on the new record while we were still working on them. And we just admire each other and get along as friends. I don't even know how the conversation started. It was like, what's the first tour back going to be? Like, how about Halestorm? Yeah. Of course, that's exactly what I want to do. So.
Now the tour has taken you all over the US and around the world as well. I was looking at some of the tour dates. Any places on the schedule that you've never been to that you're super excited to go and check out?
Well, our tour with Halestorm is just US, but we have another tour scheduled with Them Temptation that's in Europe. Yeah. I don't think there's a country on there that we haven't been to, but it's like especially now,
Yeah.
not having been able to go. By the time we go on that tour, it'll have been a 2-year delay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even, that's never happened, not even close to anything like that. So we're dying just to go and travel.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna feel so good once we finally get back there.
Yeah. So is there a particular city over in Europe that you're like, man, yeah, we can do a show here, but I want to spend the rest of the week just exploring?
Well, we added Spain and I think Portugal as well. I'm trying to remember it back now. At least Spain. We added them because they weren't on the main one, and we just have to.
Yeah.
Like, I love Spain so much. That's where we shot the My Immortal video.
Mhm.
I even speak just a little bit of Spanish up in South Florida.
Muy
So
poquito.
like yeah, un poquito. Enough that like I feel like I can go like shopping and kind of like do
Yeah.
it, you know. And I think that that's just a place that we all really love to go to, and the fans are massive there. And for some reason, they have a couple of different times been left off of the routing of the tour, and I just knew we couldn't do it to them again. So
Okay. I'm curious, who would you say right now, today, is the most influential female presence in your life?
aw, well, God, that's hard. Like in my life.
Yeah. I mean, I could be your mom, or it could be
I
a
want to say
relative,
my
or-
mom. It's a kind of a toss up. My bestie is Beth Wilson. She's been my hair and makeup artist, and more importantly, my closest friend
Huh.
forever. I brought her along on tour for the first time in '03. I was out there by myself, just me and a bunch of guys, and no other lady to be seen anywhere
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
first months. And then I was like, hey, I called home. She was, doing hair in Little Rock. And I was like, they tell me that I'm allowed to like bring somebody to help me, and you could do my hair. Like, you want to like go see the world a little bit? I'll pay you. And they're like, she was like, okay, yeah. And we've been doing it ever since. I love her. I look up to her. I definitely go to her for advice.
That's cool. And I mean, you have a husband who's a therapist, Josh. I'm curious because in my relationship, if I wasn't doing radio, I'd probably be like a psychologist or something. But my wife and I counsel each other a lot after 25 years of marriage. Who counsels each other the most in your relationship, would you say?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. That's a big conflict of interest right there.
Yeah. Okay. Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
We talk, but
Yeah.
like there's a lot of talk back.
Yeah, I would imagine if my wife was a professional therapist, it might be tough to go, God damn, you always think you're always
Yeah,
right.
like stop
You're
analyzing.
always
me.
right.
You don't know. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm curious to find out what a great weekend looks like in your family with husband and kids, and you don't have anything else going on, and it's just, hey, we have a down weekend this weekend. What does that look like?
It's just chill. It's cool being here because there's nature all around. That's something we missed a little bit living in New York for so
I can
long.
imagine.
It's not that it's not there. You just have to seek it out. And I didn't even drive
Mhm.
until moving here. I mean, I did years ago, but there was a 13-year gap in me being a licensed driver, which is insane even thinking about. The independence is fantastic. But anyway, like living in New York, if you want to go somewhere, go to the beach, there's all those things to do, but it just takes a lot of like planning and travel and like rent a car or whatever. So here I just going on a little hike, like taking Jack to like a nature park and like finding a waterfall or
Cool.
having a picnic. Yeah.
Now, I may be totally mistaken here. I'm not sure where you are now, but just based on some of the tidbits, are you in the Nashville area?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Have you ever driven out like Blue Ridge Parkway out toward Asheville and explored that area, Lake
No.
Lure in the fall?
No.
Oh,
No, I have to.
that'd be a great weekend trip for you
I
guys.
think my dream, which we haven't done yet, but like my favorite is getting out on a boat, like being in the water. I got to find out like how. I think once we break the ice of like discovering like the way to go do that easily, like it's going to happen all the time.
Absolutely. Amy Lee, what a great interview. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I know you have a tight time schedule. The Bitter Truth out and available now wherever you steal music. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see both you and my dear friend Lizzie Hale out on the road. That's going to be a
Same here.
kick-ass show.
Thanks for playing the song.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon, Amy.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.